know me. Very happy that you could attend today. Thank you very much. Now that we're recording, sorry, I'm going to have to repeat that we're going to be talking about OpScan, which is a scanning service within OptionVue that helps us look for trading opportunities. And you know, I was thinking when I was coming in today that this is a wonderful day to be doing this with the Brexit stuff going on. There's probably going to be a lot of trading opportunities. And I came in this morning and ran a few OpScans, so I'll be sharing that with you. Again, OpScan runs scans for stocks, indexes, ETFs, commodities, futures, over 4,000 optionable assets. And it's an incredible tool. I confess I get into habits myself, and it's also a wonderful way to find opportunities that you wouldn't have been able to find otherwise. Let's see if I can get this to switch. I do have to mention our disclaimer that these are educational materials provided by OptionVue. This is not trading advice. It's purely about education. There's no trading recommendations here, and you are going to see at least a couple trades, so I want to say that up front. Let me bring something else up here. Within OpScan, there are 12 formulas. These formulas come with the program, but you're also able to modify them. And that's these formulas up here. It's breakouts to the upside, breakouts to the downside, volatility issues, getting in and out with over and undervalued options, unusual call activity. What I'm going to run today is exceptional put to call volume. I found a pretty nice butterfly with that. One I had never seen before when I first came to OptionVue, which goes all the way back to the year 2000, is fat call premium or fat put premiums on quiet stocks. Everyone that ever runs OpScan seems to ask, well, what is that about? That's high implied volatility on calls or puts, and on a quiet stock means that it's in some sort of a channel. It's not moving very much. Low statistical volatility. I'm actually going to bring the software up to show you how to modify, but I want to show you the formulas as I do that. So what I did was I clicked on OpScan, I highlighted a formula, and these brief expressions are what you would be working with if you wanted to modify a formula. The pick formula is what's most important. In this case, statistical volatility is less than or equal to 30, so there isn't much movement in the stock. Call implied volatility is greater than statistical volatility plus 10, and we're looking for assets greater than 200,000 in volume on the stock. So we're looking for bigger players. And of course, we could take this off, modify it, and change it to 100, for instance. Test the syntax. The formula is valid. We would just be looking for stocks. Click OK. Click Go. And hopefully come up with a report. So that was about the pick line. The sort line, in this case, is implied volatility. Oops, hold on. I read the wrong one here. I changed that to 100 if you guys recall. There we go. So it's sorted IV minus SV, so IV is higher than SV, and it's going to show implied volatility, statistical volatility, and call implied volatility. We can actually add things to the show line if we want. Last price of the underlying, whatever you guys want to see. It's a very flexible scanning tool. You can learn the parameters and you can modify these formulas in addition to adding new formulas. So where are the parameters? If you want to look up the different parameters, you can click on Help, OptionVue 7, bring up the user guide, click on OpScan, and down here it'll say OpScan operators and parameters. Click on that. We can look at parameters for the underlying asset, or we can look for option-specific parameters. So let's look at the underlying first. So we can always manipulate last price of the underlying, either for today or across time, volume, total volume, open interest, implied and statistical volatility. Plenty of information to manipulate. Let's look at option parameters. Last price of the option, bid and ask, market price, volume. Of course, with options, we would want to look at open interest, calls and puts, percent, in the money, out of the money. A lot of ways to manipulate the data. Now, I don't know, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, it seems sort of complicated, but really you start getting used to the expressions, and we have probably well over 200 custom formulas here. So if you guys wanted to customize something, one that I got from Steve Lentz recently is type markets, non-directional trades, scanning for non-directional trades. I'd be happy to share that with you guys if you wanted to get, deeper into OpScan. But this is really a software within a software. There is a lot you can do with this program. Let me bring my software back up here. I ran a couple of formulas this morning, as I mentioned to you. And one of them was exceptional put-to-call volume ratio. So I'm going to go over this again. I'm just going to check the box, click Go. Bring up the report. I hope you find this simple. Running the reports is simple. It's writing the formulas that can be a little daunting. And we get a report. You actually, by holding the Shift key down, can send entire portions of the report over to your quotes display. I've already done that today just to kind of prepare a little bit ahead of time. And I'm going to show you a trade that I came up with using OpScan. It was off of that exceptional put-to-call volume. I don't think you can probably see it too well here. It was a butterfly. And let's just take a quick look at it. I only put it on a little while ago. It's actually moved a bit since I put it on. I just want you to see the trade. I'm not going to go over managing a butterfly. I'm sure many of you have done that with various mentors and trading groups. But it was a nice looking butterfly, and I found the opportunity by running that scan. Let's see how it's doing. It's just up a little bit, but interesting that it's moved. Another scan I ran this morning, And again, we'll run another one here. I was hoping to find something that wasn't going to be moving much but had some good premium, meaning high implied volatility. Let's see if this comes up on here again. I found Netflix this morning. Yeah, here it is. Really looked pretty good to me. Again, the implied volatility is quite a bit higher than the statistical volatility, meaning so it is quiet. SV is low. IV was quite high. I haven't really watched Netflix for quite a while. Pardon the pun. Watched the asset for quite a while. So I took a look at the price chart after I ran the report. And it does seem to be in some sort of a channel, isn't moving wildly. It certainly has in the past moved in a pretty wild fashion. But with SV this low, sorry about that. I don't know if you guys can see over here, but SV is the brown line and it's pretty low. And sure enough, IV is spiking up. So let me open the matrix. And I haven't looked at this for a little while. I put on a calendar spread. Of course, the hope would be that it sort of stays in place a little bit. And sure enough, it has moved up. I'm sure with the Brexit information and stuff coming up, there's been a little bit of bullish behavior. But what I usually do with calendar spreads, if I still like the trade, and it's only, both of these are 9-day trades, by the way. This is a 9-day calendar. The other one was a 9-day butterfly. I'm pretty quick to add another calendar on here if I have to. Anyway, at the time, without going into much detail on the strategy, how to manage it, I thought it was a pretty good trade. And again, found it with OpScan. And I'm not in OpScan a lot, so these were opportunities that came up because I was going to be talking to you guys and seemed like a good way to pull myself out of my old habits and maybe find some new trades. The last thing I want to go over with you guys is, and that was something I mentioned before, is that we've built a lot of custom formulas other than the 12 formulas that are in here. Yes, you can modify those formulas, but there's a lot of other ideas. It's usually the professionals that are getting us to build formulas. I have some of them in here. But again, here's Steve Lentz's non-directional candidates, meaning butterflies, condors. Why don't we run it? Let's see if we find any opportunities. Again, this is one I haven't used for a while. Oh, see right at the top. I know a lot of people do their butterflies and condors on the Russell. Sure enough, it's right at the top and probably presents a reasonable opportunity right now. The Russell, the SPX, NDX, they haven't been moving that much. Amazon, GLB, one I've traded a lot in the past. Really good asset to get in non-directional trades on. You might find these on your own, but it's still nice to report and see if you get any ideas that you wouldn't have gotten when you're just used to doing the Russell and the SPX. Steve came up with these pick lines. It's average implied volatility across 500 days is greater than average statistical volatility 500 days by 1.05. He wanted SV to be lower than average SV across 20 days, and the last price of the underlying in all cases had to be greater than 20. other than that, you should get plenty of good ideas. If any of you are interested in this formula, I'd be happy to share it with you. So this was kind of a brief presentation of OpScan. If you guys are interested and you want to dig into OpScan, I'd be happy to do that with you. Just give me a call or send an email to jeff@optionvue.com and we can dig in. I've had both retail people and professionals want to build formulas. We can work that out too. Steve Lentz is really a master at these, and I'm been back here for 1 year and I'm getting used to getting back into OpScan myself. So up to you. You can certainly get a lot out of the formulas that are already built in. Caesar's asking, can we get an OpScan separate from OptionVue software? No, I'm sorry. You have to have the software to have access to OpScan. It's kind of an add-on. Without the software? Right. Yeah, you can get software and OpScan only if that was your question, Caesar. But you still have to have the software, not, he said separate from OptionVue software. Yeah, you guys can go to the public site, which is optionvue.com. Click on Trading, and then click on OpScan. And you can read over the information again, and of course you can go over this video, which will be coming out, Jim assures me, like in a few minutes. So yeah, the parameters that I showed you only briefly that just came up on your screen are also available in a download on the public site. So if you want to look at them in detail to see if these are parameters you'd like to work with a little creativity, you can come up with some very clever formulas. Like I said, Steve Lentz, across 18 years, has 200 or 300 formulas. So would love to see you guys come in and use OpScan and share any trades you come up with using OpScan, and we can post them and share them with the community. So I really appreciate you. Oh, Jim's saying bring up, we have our own YouTube page and our own YouTube channel in OptionVue. You guys can also go there and get some ideas. There's a lot of videos on there and a lot of different topics. Obviously, OpScan would just be one of them. I think Steve did a covered call presentation recently. A lot of you probably feel like you're beyond the covered call thing, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Sometimes it's good to go back over basics. There's broken wing butterflies on there, a lot of stuff. So I really, again, appreciate you guys attending and hope to talk to you. And have a great day. Take care. Bye, you guys.